Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, listen to the sound of spring. Welcome back to a Pup in the Life. In today's episode of a Pup in the Life, almost summer. It's how hot it is. And yeah, exciting. Nevertheless, we've been going back and forth this period. Lots of stuff going on, as you might have heard. Lots of things, analysis, novelties, many things, actually, as you might have guessed, even though we're not able to share those with you at all at this time. But very, very dynamic year. So in today's pod, we are going to talk about something that's going to sound quite philosophical, but it is very, very important to accept and to understand. So I was talking with mom, overheard mom talking. As a habit, she tries to talk with people who have done it before and that, she can steal their homework from and just be able to, to get to it, to understand exactly how to avoid some mistakes, how to do things better, what challenges to expect, etc., etc. And she was talking specifically about exits, and she was sharing some things, some thoughts about an exit she heard of, and she was able to gather some info about how it's usually proceed, especially in the early stages of a startup, which usually is somebody acquiring you from, the competition. And she was talking about this with a group of people, actually. And it's quite interesting to see how we think about exits and what exits actually usually are. So she was, hearing about all of this, and at some point somebody goes on, this person is a lawyer, and says an exit usually never comes when you're waiting for it, and that's the reason why you should always pay attention when the opportunity arises. Now, we don't really have a way to exactly understand how this is probably going to play out for mom in the future or at all. But it's useful to know, so then you can come prepared not only for a potential exit for your company, but in general for the opportunities that life might come to you. Let me give you another example. Sometimes you're gonna find love or good relationship, let's say, and friends just right there when you weren't looking for it. Why? Because at some point the universe, God, the energy, however you want to call it, starts throwing something at you, and it's up to you to accept it or not. But it did throw you something, right? So this is just to say that once you start thinking about how things arise, it's totally impossible to actually understand exactly when to expect something. And so you might really want to pay attention when something unexpected comes your way. Now, I've come to understand that this is an actual accepted truth in startups, that sometimes you get an opportunity exactly where you weren't expecting it. And so this goes for exits, but probably also for other types of deals. But you should pay attention. And this is common knowledge in startups, that if you don't pay attention, you're going to regret it. There is a saying by Professor Galloway in his pod, who says, once you think you're ready to exit, usually it's too late or too soon. And when people come to you, you should always be able to listen. That's exactly the reason why when something that can be good comes to you, like, for example, potential new partner, potential business opportunity, potential new thing, you shall pay attention. Now, don't get lost into the woman in the right dress as syndrome, as we always talk about it. Pay attention, don't get enamored by it, but at the same point, try to understand if in any shape or form this thing is actually possible for you to implement in your life and insert in what your life plan is already. So for example, if you don't have a mate, maybe a mate. If you're planning to exit your company at some point, an exit, then you should take it into consideration. And you can always say no, but it is an informed decision. You have accepted to say no, you have decided to say no, you have said no. That's it. And so at least you know, and at least you did it. But be sure not to lose the momentum. Sometimes things arise because it's the right moment and you don't know it yet. So I know this is very philosophical, but it's very interesting and important and meaningful, and it can make a difference to learn from people who have done it before. If what is worrying you is, okay, but what about next? You're gonna find something to learn from it, to do from it. If it's the exit, maybe another company, maybe a consulting role, maybe money. If it's a partner, maybe kids, maybe a family, or maybe you've learned it the right way, was not the right person. But guess what? When the universe throws it at you, it usually means something. This is all for today. I hope in some shape or form this was useful, because it might have given you some inspiration for something that you are planning to do, or that you're actually wondering, like, why, and should I pay attention? Well, maybe. Just put a year to it. If for some reason, remember the gut feeling, that makes you tick. And then all the rest will follow. Now, hopefully this is a piece of advice that mom could potentially accept for herself too at some point in time. But for now, we keep building and we keep hoping. At this point in time, I will send you kisses, hugs, and lots of barks. Bye bye.